Are you reading closely and looking? Start by circling the question and going to the beginning. It says, which of the following statements is true? So let's cross it out. We've already underlined, we've already read everything. Now I can circle some clues. So let me circle which of the following. That means which of these. Statements means sentences. So which of these sentences is true? So this is kind of like the activity that we did in class where our brains were starting to hurt because we had so many numbers. So in this problem, I'm just going to focus on what's on the answer choices. All we have to do, since there are 3 numbers for every answer choice, is cover up the last set of numbers so that we can make it easier on our brains. And when we're comparing, we're trying to see which one of these is true. We need to start in the biggest place value to see which number is bigger. So let's go ahead and start in the 10,000s place. So we have a 4 and a 4. Which one has more? Well, they're both the same. So is that going to help us? No. Let's cross out the 4 and let's cross out the 4. So now we need to move on to the next place value. Which is bigger? Well, they're both the same, so that's not going to help me. I can cross it out and cross that out. So now in the hundreds place, I see that the 4 has more, so I can circle that. I know that the greatest number gets the greatest number of dots. And that does match with the symbol because it's pointing to the greater number. So I'm going to write an M for maybe. The next one, I can start in the 10,000s place. 4 is the same as 4, so we can cross it out. 5 and 3. Well, 5 is greater than 3, so I can circle the 5. I know that the greater number gets the greatest number of dots. But if I put them there, it doesn't match with the symbol that's there, so B is wrong. That means that all of B is wrong if that one part's wrong. C, on C, we can put our finger at the 10,000s. The 4 is the same as 4, so that's not going to help us. The 5 is the same as the 5 in the 1,000s, so that's not going to help us. The 4 in the hundreds is greater than 300, and the greatest number gets the greatest number of dots, and that does match with the symbol that's there, so that's another maybe. On D, we put our finger on the 10,000s. 4 is the same as 4. Cross it out. 5 is greater than 3, so we can circle the 5. The greatest number gets the greatest number of dots, so we can put the 2 dots there and it does match. So now we have 3 possible answers, and now we can flip our paper over to the other side because we're already done looking at this number. Now we have to see if these 2 numbers at the end match up. Let's go to the other side. I'm glad that I already crossed this one out because I don't have to look at B anymore, but you can go ahead and try and erase those marks that you did for the second number so that we can start again to see if they match with the last number. So put your finger on the 10,000s. 4 is the same as 4. That's not going to help us. 5 is greater than 3, and the greater number gets the greatest number of dots, but that doesn't match with that symbol. So that means that all of A is absolutely wrong. So A is wrong and B is wrong. Let's go to C. Put your finger on the 4 and the 4. That's the same, so let's cross it out. The 5 and the 3. Well, the 5 has more. The 5 is greater, and the greater number gets the greatest number of dots. And that does match with that symbol, so I'm just going to put a check mark. And let's double check to see if the last one might work out or not. So put your finger on the 4 and the 4. That's the same. That's not going to help us. The 5 is the same as the 5. That's not going to help us. The 4 is greater than the 3 in the hundreds place. 400 is greater, and the greater number gets the greatest number of dots. But that does not match up, so that means that C is our answer, so go ahead and circle that one. On this question, I also had a backup question. So let's just go ahead and circle the question mark and go to the beginning of the sentence. So this question is very similar, but the answer choices look a little bit differently. In the question, it says, which number sentence is true if 1,537 replaces the box? So let's circle which number sentence, so which of these is true if this number replaces, that means goes into the box. So if that number were to be put in this box, would it match? So let's see. You can just go ahead and put it down here, 1,537, and we can do the same thing that we were doing before. Let's put our finger on the biggest place value, the 1,000s. 1 is the same as 1, so that's not going to help us. 5 is greater than 4, and the greater number gets the greatest number of dots, but that doesn't match, so A is wrong. Now we have to put this number in this box. 1,537. The one in the 1,000s place is the same, so we can cross it off. It's not going to help us. 5 is greater than 2. That means that our symbol needs to be pointing that way. That number is not the same, so let's cross it off. We need to put the 1,537 here. 1 is the same as 1 in the 1,000, so that's not going to help us. 5 is the same as the 5, that's not going to help us. 9 is greater than 3 tens. So let's circle the 9 tens. That means the symbol needs to be pointing that way, but it does not match. So that means that D is our answer.